Hey yo, what's going on with the viewers of the tube? Tyler here of Chico Crypto, coming to you out in my backyard for the first video of the week, a short candid video before I get into the regular content later this week. So let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin, as it's been a while since I've talked about old Bitcoin. Well, BTC, it broke out of a bearish wedge that many YouTubers and analysts were talking about, and they were screaming bullish, bullish, bullish. Although the price has started to retrace. Yes, it is falling right back to where it was before this pump. We're back at 20K. I have a feeling we're going to dance around this for a little bit, maybe a slightly bearish overtone pushing us down to 18K, but then it bounces right back. I have a feeling this game is going to be played probably for the next month or so. But the headline of this video is the biggest bank run in history is taking place. Uh-oh, dun dun dun. Well, yeah, in one of the world's top countries as of right now, they are having a massive bank run and the contagion is spreading. So it is for just one big. They have basically 4 big banks or 5 big banks that make up the People's Bank of China, and they're basically regional banks, and one of them is freezing withdrawals. This is the Henan Bank, and as of right now there are violent protests, people getting rowdy McRowdy, and China is pulling out all the stops to stop this bank run. So it's not actually just Henan. All 4 other of the major Chinese banks are having liquidity issues. So like I said, the contagion is spreading, and we could see this happening with other banks here in the next couple of days. But what is China doing to stop this? Well, they're using the vaccine mandate, their online tracking system, and they're basically marking some people as red, which means they are COVID contagious, so they can get them the freak out of there and stop the withdrawals, which I think is pretty crazy, pretty draconian, but it is China. So let's talk about, what's going on, China is having a bank run, and this isn't the first time. They've had a few bank runs in the past 4 to 5 years at least. And the question on everyone's mind is this going to pump Bitcoin? Well, yes and no. It's not in the sense that you would think, that citizens are just going to rush to Bitcoin because the bank is pulling all this funky business. There will be some that do it, but not everybody, you guys. So it's not just going to be a wild pump into Bitcoin, pump up to freaking 60K within a matter of a month or two. But this is going to cause a pump to come. So the last time China actually saw a bank run like this, where it spread across the news, was back in November of 2020. Just after the COVID crisis, they were having liquidity issues again, and bank runs were starting. As we know, November of 2020, Bitcoin was around 20K actually. And over the next few months, 6 to 7, we saw Bitcoin go from 20K all the way up to 69K. So is this going to happen again? Well, I actually think so, but it's not people rushing in to put their money into Bitcoin. It's actually because the money printers are going to go once again. So to solve this liquidity crisis back in November of 2020, what did China do? They printed, and they printed a lot of money. So again, they're going to have to do it to stop these bank runs and citizens fleeing the banks. They're going to have to calm the citizens, and that will require having enough liquidity in the banks for them to withdraw. Because it's not going to stop until some of these people, the ones that are protesting, can withdraw their money. So it means governments are restarting the money printer. I've made a video probably a few weeks back now that went right into this. The money printers are going to go again. And it's not only in China, you guys. So if you didn't know, the euro is actually crashing pretty significantly. 1 euro equals 1 USD. This means Europe and their currency system is in trouble. How are they gonna fix it? I wonder. Oh, money printers go brr. So yeah, the last time the euro and the USD were in parity was, I think, back in 1993. So it's been almost over 30 years. So again, the euro is going to have to, you know, restart. And actually, because of this, the 1 euro equals 1 USD news that came out, Arthur Hayes, the former owner of BitMEX, very popular blogger, he put out a tweet that basically is calling for 1 million a Bitcoin. As he says, because of this, the US is going to do exactly what Japan has done. Some Japanese style quantitative easing and yield curve control, YCC. So, let's talk about the US and why the US is going to have to do this again. Well, the CPI data, Consumer Price Index data, is coming out once again on Wednesday, so in a couple days. And it's coming in for last month, June. As we know, May was 8.6%. I have a feeling that, yes, June is going to outdo May by a pretty significant portion. I'm putting my estimate of the June readings at 9%. If it's over 9%, like 9.2, holy macaroni, the markets are going to get trashed, including Bitcoin. Because that means, basically, that the governments are going to have to continue what they just said they're going to do with last week's minutes. They said they're going to continue raising rates until they can get inflation under control. Well, in my opinion, even raising rates, they might have to raise them to 20% to get inflation under control. These little raises aren't going to get inflation under control, which they will figure out over the summer, and then the money printers in the United States are going to have to go brr once again, and brr in multiple ways, you know. Of course, traditional quantitative easing, buying bonds and asset-backed treasuries, but also in the population sense. They're going to have to push out some stimulus checks because Americans aren't going to be able to afford what they need, you know, water, food, gas. I mean, that's what Americans need, basically, shelter, yeah. But those things are getting out of the reach of most Americans, which, if you don't want riots and bank runs happening like over in China, you better turn on those printers before it does happen. It seems like China has waited and waited. So, again, you guys, I'm just going to reiterate what I've been saying about what I think the Bitcoin price is going to do. It's going to be a rocky summer. Up until August. I have a feeling around end of August into September is going to be the Bitcoin bottom. And there's a nice little release of Bitcoins that coincides with my theory, came out after I put out my theory, was Mt. Gox is going to do their final release for the Bitcoins held on that exchange back in 2013, 2014. And over 144,000 Bitcoin, over $20 million worth of sell pressure will be on the markets from early hodlers. So the question is, are they going to dump or are they going to hodl like they've been forced to for the past 8-9 years? In my opinion, it's not going to be that big of it'll be some news, you know, it's nice news, but buy the rumor, sell the rumor, buy the news, you know. That's my opinion on it. It's not going to have that big of effect. But now is the time, you know, right now, even into the summer, I've been saying it over and over. If you are looking to get some crypto assets, get a full Bitcoin, get 32 Ethereum, now is the time, because this is the last time before the biggest asset bubble this world has ever seen, after they figure things can't get under control, so they're going to pull out the Japanese style stops. And guess what? Arthur Hayes says 1 million a Bitcoin. I've said eventually, since I started this channel, and even before I started the channel, that Bitcoin would eventually hit 1 million. But regarding, you know, some altcoins that I'm looking at during these summer months, I'm looking for infrastructure coins, you know, the solid ones that have built infrastructure that's being used, Chainlink, Polkadot, Pocket Network. But in regards to scalability, you know, and interoperability, Polkadot is one of the ones top on my list. I'm buying it over Cosmos, even though I do see a Cosmos play because, like I said, I see some big Ethereum dApps moving over to Cosmos. But in regards to other altcoins, GMX is on my radar. And like I said in my last video, old school DeFi projects, Synthetics, Compound, Curve, those ones are the ones you should be looking at because they will most likely suck the liquidity up first, after Bitcoin and Ethereum. Well, I appreciate all you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys later on this week. Probably not tomorrow. I need a little break from all my traveling, but I will be back on Wednesday. Cheers, guys. I'll see ya.